Contained in these pages are my observations of the bizarre creatures that have appeared on Carnate Island since the cataclysm struck. The creatures emerge in a variety of ways, but many of them appear to come from within the island itself, as if the very earth of Carnate were poisonous and vile. Though I scarcely have time to keep a journal like this while trying to keep myself alive, my inquisitive nature forces me to write down what I see, in the hope that I might better understand it. But how can this unspeakable horror possibly be understood? It is as if Carnate's horrific sins, both past and present, are being brought to life in a pageant of death. Slayer. I first witnessed these creatures jumping out of the ground itself. Their heads were detached from their torsos, held aloft by hideous contraptions. Their limbs have been replaced by blades of the sharpest steel. To my eyes, they appear to be a manifestation of decapitation. Yet it seems improbable anyone ever had their head chopped off in Abbot. I suppose on Carnate anything is possible. I have dubbed these monstrosities Slayers.
Inmate! Back in your cell. Everything's under control.
Marksman. Based on the battery of rifles attached to its back and the blindfold around its head, this marksman appears to be the reincarnation of a military firing squad. Abbot was originally a POW camp during World War II, so it seems likely they would have had executions of that sort. Indeed, there are stories of a rogue colonel who was to be court-martialed but instead took his own life. Perhaps he is connected to these abominations.
Where the fuck are you? What's taking so long? Do it. Fucking do it! Just fucking kill me!
Mainliner. In the 1970s, lethal injection was introduced as the most humane means of state-sanctioned killing. To date, 25 such procedures have taken place in Abbot. This creature, I call him the Mainliner, appears to suffer with every move he makes. Perhaps the mixture of sodium pentothal, pancuronium bromide, and potassium chloride in his veins is not to his liking. The numerous needles jabbed into his body cannot help his disposition.
Man, what is this shit on the floor? Looks like blood, but it's like it's breathing or something. This shit goes back to World War II.
Neuse Men. Not only is this Nooseman dead from being hung by the neck, but he also appears to have had his skin removed. I wonder if these creatures are tied to the legendary story of the inmates who, outraged by the death of fellow workers in a quarry mining accident, hung and skinned 5 COs. The Neuse Men are more supernatural than many of their brethren, ripping themselves straight out of the ceiling in some entirely impossible manner.
Where's this dripping coming from? Yo, who that?
Burrower. These burrowers are some of the most lethal creatures I have encountered, primarily due to their ability to spring forth from the ground itself and just as quickly resubmerge. They're closely tied to the very soil of Carnate, a theme among these monstrosities. Its appearance is of a human body tied up in a gunny sack and constrained by leather straps, with deadly steel chains attached to various locations. I believe they represent those buried alive.
Be quiet! Don't get any closer! They can hear your footsteps!
Damn!
Fester. Continually emerging from the slave ship, these are the festering creatures who foil my attempts to escape this confounded rock. Rats live within their flesh, writhing within it and then springing forth randomly. They appear to be a reincarnation, not of the slaves, for then they would be of darker skin tone, but instead of the slave traders. In this form, they are forced to live out again and again the fate they forced upon those hapless slaves.
Look there! Do you see? Coming out of the waves? I swear it is the most hideous thing I have ever laid eyes upon.
Inferna. From what I have witnessed, this manifestation of evil appears to have 2 distinct forms. The first, a young girl in Puritan dress, perhaps 13 years of age. This transforms into an altogether more disturbing flaming creature. Both clutch a small handmade doll. To my mind, there is no doubt that these creatures are tied to the 3 young girls who made witchcraft accusations in the late 1600s and led to the incendiary death of 11 innocents.
You saw the devil. He's close. Don't let him get you. Around the roses, pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
Dr. Killjoy. One of Abbott's most persistent legends tells of Dr. Killjoy, the quite insane psychiatrist surgeon who ran an asylum on Carnate. Doing research of my own, I found that he did indeed exist, though which stories are true and which are fabrication is anyone's guess. Since the cataclysm, I have 3 times seen a surgeon formed of pure light, reminiscent of 16mm film projection come to life. Could this be the fine doctor?
Well, look what we have here. How long I have been waiting to encounter such a fascinating specimen. My understanding is you've had periodic blackouts since, when was it? Ah yes, early adolescence. Ever wonder what happens during those blackouts? Would you say you have visions of bloodshed? Yes, surely there is bloodshed.
It is so difficult to tame the brain. Sometimes it needs a little jolt to behave. And so, my favorite subject arrives. It is in this room that all the secrets will be revealed. I will employ an experimental device that helps me chart the undiscovered country. But you can't come to the show yet. First, you must prove to me that you truly want to be cured, and that you truly are worthy of my time. See you soon, I hope.
Horace. Many inmates break once inside Abbot, but none have snapped more extremely than Horace Gage, who, the tale goes, became convinced his wife wasn't safe without his protection and sliced her to ribbons during a conjugal visit. He ended up in the mercy chair, electrocuted by Abbott's then executioner Hermes Hate. For years, inmates have said he haunts Abbot, and I believe I saw him 10 minutes ago. I surely wish I had not.
I've been here a long time. I don't understand much about this place, but I know your being here ain't no coincidence. Oh no, it's back. It's starting again. It never stops. It just keeps burning. It won't let me go. I think we got something in common. We know what love is. We know what it is to love a woman. You do anything for her, am I right? And something else we got. We know what it is to lose it. Lose it all. To not be in control. Why won't it stop? Thank you.
Hermes. Since the cataclysm, I have several times found myself mysteriously surrounded by noxious green fumes. I have fled in each case, and I think if I had not, I might not be alive to write this now. Within the gas, I have seen a humanoid who seemed to take great joy in the prospect of my death. Could this be Hermes, Abbot's resident executioner for several decades? If I recall, he took his own life in the gas chamber.
Sweet! This is it. We're set now. It's like a vault in here. Nothing can get in.
Nothing.
You say something?
Yes.
What was that? I think the dope's coming back.
Breathe deep.
That smell! What in the fuck's going on?
That always feels good. He needed to go. He wasn't interesting enough. Not like you. You understand how it feels. He needed someone professional to pull the switch. A lot of eager sadists applied, but I was the only one who took the work seriously. So seriously, I wanted to taste the gas myself. That's what Carnate does. It brings out the killer inside. It's the perfect place for you and me. It was never enough, so I took my involvement to the next level. I put myself in the chamber, but I didn't die. Not exactly. I always wished they would have kept me busier. My talents were underutilized. There were certainly enough people who deserved what I could provide. They just needed to be brought to me. I know you can do it. What are you waiting for? If placed in the right situation, who's to say you wouldn't kill as many as me? Maybe you already have. I didn't know these people I killed. They hadn't wronged me. But I was in...
I only briefly saw this enormous creature a single time, near the docks. I cannot even begin to describe him, save for one thing. He seems to be quite literally connected to an inmate, the convicted killer Torx. Incredible as it may sound, this creature appears to have a miniature version of Torx attached to him via a long umbilicus. Beyond that, I can only say that I view him as the most evil of all the creatures, a pure manifestation of fury and hatred. Torx Family. In one of my other entries, I discussed Torq, the notorious inmate who seems at ease dispatching these creatures. I recall seeing in the sun a picture of the man's ex-wife and 2 boys, and I have drawn it here from memory. I remember they were a beautiful family, and it seems unbelievable that any man so blessed would have the audacity to kill them so savagely. But as we all know, beauty alone is often not enough. Torq. Since the cataclysm, I have seen the death of many inmates. But one seems to be an unstoppable survivor. I've seen him take out packs of marksmen and slayers without even breathing hard. Torq is an inmate of some ill repute, having been sentenced to die for the killing of his ex-wife and children. Of course, being convicted and being guilty are 2 different things. Perhaps he will save us all, but I feel certain he will at least save himself. The creature. I saw this creature in a dream, and he seems somehow connected to these horrific events. In my dream, I witnessed the inmate Torq transform into this beast and lay waste to all around him. Since the cataclysm, I have seen Torq go berserk, killing beasts with his bare hands. But of course, during such times, he himself does not actually transform into a beast. He merely becomes intensely enraged. The meaning of my dream I leave for the reader to discern.